Yeah. Take it away. Do you need to hold it? No, I can do it. Hello, my name is Krista. I have a connective tissue disorder called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, as well as skull and spine abnormalities that I was born with. I have spent most of my life in pain. I have been a cannabis patient for the past 6 years. Prior to cannabis, I was reliant on round-the-clock narcotic medication that helped me barely function. I never left my couch. In the past 6 years, I started a support group for other people with my condition. We've been meeting the last 3 years every month and doing events. I'm a patient advocate. I've been able to stay with my physical therapy. I'm no longer in a wheelchair. I can walk on my own. I can take care of myself. I can make my own meals. I can help my family out. I can spend time with my friends. I can live my life. Cannabis has allowed me to live a good life, to help others, to contribute to the world. It has made my life worth living again. The governor's proposal to make the medication that I rely on completely unaffordable to me. I am treating a severe condition that will never improve. I am currently taking at least an ounce of medication a week. In March, I'll be having my 14th surgery. I'll be having a lateral reconstruction of my ankle using a cadaver tendon, and that is not even the scariest, strangest surgery I have endured in the past 38 years. Plants are susceptible to mold, rot, bugs. They get damaged by too much humidity, heat fluctuations, and interruptions in electricity. This is farming, and anything can happen. If I only have 1 or 2 plants to work with at each stage, how can I possibly have a perpetual growth that provides my medication year-round? It just won't work with those numbers. Even if I managed to make a monster plant with 4 ounces that would cover me for a month, I'm not allowed to currently have that much medication at one time. I'm only allowed 2.5 ounces. That would force me to provide my medication. The proposal changes to my plant count from 24 down to 6. It wouldn't just make it difficult, it would make it completely impossible for me to afford my medication. I would not be able to provide for myself, and instead would have to rely on the compassion centers. They don't have the specific CBD-THC ratio that I require, and would cost me $16,000 a year. I currently spend $3,000 growing my own medication a year. I am on disability. I have been since before I was 30, and that is the only way I can get my medication. Ah!
The pharmacy doesn't have to go through these rules. Don't pay tax that far. 11% at that.
I don't know any sick people who have $16,000 to spend on their medication in a year. I don't know any who have $2,000 to spend on that medication. My medication should not be taxed. It should not be taxed in the compassion centers, and it should not be taxed by how many plants I'm growing. Woohoo! Adding $150 to 1 plant. Oh, thank you. Adding $150 annually per plant based on the idea that I somehow make $17,000 by growing my own medication is flawed. I cannot make money on something I'm consuming as medicine. I do not sell it. I am not a corporation. I am not a corporation to be taxed, but a real-life human being with a catastrophic disease that causes constant pain, medical emergencies, and I'm just barely making it as it is. Adding a tax to this, adding any more financial burden to my already overburdened state would simply collapse me. I will be forced to either move to a friendlier state like Maine or Colorado, or stay in Rhode Island and grow as a criminal. I am not a criminal. My only crime was that I was born with a devastating illness, with no cure, no treatments, and a guarantee of pain for the rest of my life. And a strong desire to live my life well. If gifting hadn't existed when I first started out, I wouldn't know what medication was working for me. I wouldn't know what would help me and what to avoid. I've also benefited from gifting when I lost my entire garden to a bug infestation. Removing this from the program would make it much more difficult for new patients to navigate the program, as well as low-income patients who can't afford their medicine, and people like myself who sometimes have a garden emergency and need a little help getting back on our feet. We have such a great program in Rhode Island right now. It's not perfect. There are still too many patients suffering stigma. Too many going without because they can't afford their medicine or the licensing fees.
Yes.
The proposed changes would make this medication unaffordable to the sick, and isn't that who it's supposed to be for?
Yes.
That's right.
If we want to generate income, I urge the government to look into taxing and regulating recreational use and help, not harm, our patient community. Please keep this medicine affordable. We need less fees, not more.